Good afternoon. So today we're going to talk about motivation in the workplace, and I'm really excited to talk to you all about a new training program I would love to implement. What we'll do today is we'll walk through kind of the who, what, when, where, and why to give you guys a better idea of what we're envisioning for this training program, what to expect to come out of this training program, what to expect to happen during the training program, and to learn a little bit of the logistical sides. I know budget is always a huge question, time, what kind of commitment will this take? So we'll learn all about that today, and then we'll leave some time at the very end for questions. So the first thing we're going to talk about is who. So who are we centering this motivation in the workplace training towards? This will be towards all of our people managers. So it won't matter if a manager has been here for 5 years, 5 days, or 15. This is a new training program we want everyone to take. The reason being is we have looked at our retention and our turnover percentages and our exit interviews, and we have learned that even the most seasoned managers, some employees are still seeing a lack of motivation, and we're really wanting to make sure we get all of this information out to every manager. And then it'll be super important that as managers are coming in, they will be required to complete this training within their first 6 months of being here at our organization. So once we get everyone taken care of, as new managers are coming into the building, they will have 6 months to complete this training. So what are we talking about? What is it about motivation? So we're going to, during this training, we'll really focus the first hour on what is motivation. What is it? Define it, different aspects of it, and why does it matter to us as managers within this organization? And then what we'll do is towards the kind of end of that first half of class, we'll really focus on the strategies. We will look at strategies that have been implemented potentially in our organization or in other organizations as well that have shown to be very effective. Within that last half of class, and this is always my favorite, you always have to have some hands-on activities or some practicing. Practice makes perfect. So the second half of class, we're really going to focus on pairing up with managers and walking through different scenarios, whether it be talking about motivation or implementing a motivational strategy. Also, what we want to do is really brainstorm. We want, our different pairs to brainstorm motivational ideas. Maybe they have something from a different organization they could bring in, but then we'll come back together and really hear about what everyone talked about and see if there are some different strategies we can use within our own teams. So this will be a 2-hour long training. As I mentioned, it will have that motivational content covering the strategies at the very beginning. And then we will have the scenarios and brainstorming. We will offer this course once a month to allow time for individuals to take this course within their 6-month time frame. Right when we do assign it, obviously we're going to have a lot of managers that need to take it. We will provide a lot of different training options. So probably the first couple months that we are offering this class, we will have one training a week, and then we'll go on a monthly cadence. So where? So that's the question of the day. Obviously, we would love to have instructor-led training in person, but currently that is not going to work for us. So that's the long-term end goal. But in the time being, we will just have a virtual training. So what that will look like is obviously we'll utilize our Skype and our Zoom as well as our phone lines. And then also another piece of this class is follow-up mentoring sessions to see where these managers are at once they've gone back to their teams and implemented different strategies. Those will be virtual just because you don't really need to meet face-to-face for that. It's a lot easier just to pick up the phone and call someone. So why? What's the drive of this? You're like, Morgan, I know you mentioned, we've looked at our retention and our turnover rates. And like I said, on our exit interviews, we've really noticed people are extremely unhappy, and it's not because of benefits. It's not because of salary. Everyone's happy with that. It's just when it comes to management, they feel like they're being micromanaged, or they feel like we're not concerned with their development. And so we really need to hone in on how to motivate our employees and what works best for our organization. what works best for your team. What works best for my team might not work best for your team. So we really want to equip managers to have all tool belt of strategies to use when it comes to motivation. And so ultimately that will reduce our turnover. And as we're all very aware, turnover is very expensive. And so if we can do anything to help supplement everyone's happy with our benefits and our salaries, we need to help encourage that motivation when it comes to the manager aspect of that manager-employee relationship. So here on the objectives, these are my favorites, so you guys can get a really good idea of what actually will the listed out objectives, so that pinpoint what will we cover in this course. I know I've kind of mentioned the generic areas, but by the end of this training, managers will be able to define motivation. They will be able to understand the correlation between retention and motivation. They will be able to assess motivational strategies. And then the very last one, which I think is great, and it's going to be an awesome part of this training program, is the manager will be able to create a plan to implement the strategies within their own team. So as I mentioned, the goal is they will create strategies and they will implement them. And then we'll have a training session. I haven't officially decided, but probably about 3 to 6 months after they have taken this course and implemented their strategies, we'll have a training session to see where they're at and get a feel for their team and see how they feel their motivation has increased or is it decreased, and what different things can we do to help continue their improvement on motivation. So big question, and this is how I'm going to end. What will this training cost? So by us creating this training internally, we are saving a lot of money. The biggest cost of this training is going to be time. So that's why we kept this course at a 2-hour time frame, kind of that happy medium with managers. There will be some time that managers will need to dedicate toward after the class is over to implement and actually evaluate their motivational strategies. And so in the long run, we are saving a lot of money by not bringing in additional external training or external consultants. And of course, if we implement these different motivational strategies, we will ultimately have a higher retention rate, a lower turnover rate, and therefore we will be saving a lot of money just in retention alone. So that's why I know sometimes it can be a little costly when it comes to our time, but it truly will be worth it in the very end. I'm so excited about this training program. It's still in the works. We have definitely a lot more to continue to iron out. If you guys have any questions, feel free, let me know. Send me an email, send me a Skype. I'm super excited to talk about this training, and I look forward to having all of these different managers in here, and I cannot wait to see the improvement when it comes to motivation as well as our retention rates within our organization. Thanks, everyone, and have a great day.